today's episode.
Please, no one come to my house and take my stuff away. I'd rather lose. No.
Careful what you say there.
The defining moment Mourinho is if he gets centre back. If he
I
does,
was going to say, yeah.
If he does, he will win the league next season if he does.
Oh, don't make claims like that.
Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Us 3 FC podcast. We are joined by Kai Sherlock and Johnny Chick, the Three Musketeers, and yourself, Josh Bailey. If you enjoyed last week's episode, then you are in for an absolute treat this week because it's only getting bigger and better. We're discussing VAR. We are discussing what's wrong with Liverpool, injuries or Klopp. Is Mourinho's time up at Spurs? Then we're going to take a trip to Europe to talk about Hazard and Easy Madrid's worst signing. And we're going to play a little game, home or away, Haaland and Sancho edition. Should they stay at Dortmund or go to a different club?
Should they stay or should they go now?
And welcome, guys. How are we doing? We all right?
Yeah, I'm all right, laddie.
I'm good. The thing is, I just know when it's going to go on. I can't say. When I said tits up, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's going to go tits up when we talk about Hazard because that's when it went Europe
last
finished.
week was just
Finished.
If you made it to Europe last week, congratulations. Yeah. You saw the good bit of the podcast.
It's true.
This week,
come to Europe with us this week. I'm sure it'll be as better.
It's always fun. I feel like serious guys this week. Okay, let's be let's talk about some serious topics. All right.
Yeah. And what's that first topic, Josh?
Football, man.
I want to talk about Europe, and you guys didn't, but serious stuff. So room for a serious podcast.
Okay.
Yes.
Serious podcast.
Yeah.
Football, beers.
Right. Let's talk about the first one. VAR.
Yep.
VAR. So it was another week of VAR controversy every week, really, and it just seems to be getting worse by the game week. And this week there was Thomas Souček with his accidental elbow. And what was the other one as well? What was
there was a David Luiz one, wasn't there? And then there was also the Martial one. There was two more.
Yeah, and then there was the Arsenal fans are mad about Lacazette getting brought down against Aston Villa as well.
With Emilio Martinez and also
Martinez,
as well, who was fouled. It was 1-on-1.
It's been a lot this week. Which one should we talk about first?
I think
Thomas.
That was the big one.
That's had some repercussions in it. Have you seen today? Mike Dean has received death threats and towards his family, which is the bad side of football. But
that's always too far.
Yeah. There's always a line, and death threats seem to cross it. But
here's the line, and they've crossed it.
Yeah.
So Thomas.
But yeah.
That was a pen.
So with Souček, with the actual charge, I don't know if you've seen it, but I'm assuming you two have seen it. But for the audience, he was basically it was in the build to a free kick, wasn't it? It was at the start of a free kick, and they were almost grabbing hold of one another, and he lifted his arm up to almost like shrug the defender off, and as he did, he was looking away, but he contacted with the defender's face, and then obviously the defender made a meal out of it, as you would, getting elbow to the face. Put him?
Yeah, Mitro. I think.
Mitro, yeah. So then Mike Dean went to the board, into VAR, and then sent him off. But was it a red card?
I mean, no.
You see, I don't know. I don't know with that one. Because...
Oh no, it was. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Sorry, I got it wrong. It wasn't.
Right, John.
It wasn't.
Do you think it was?
It wasn't a red card.
No, but I don't know.
It wasn't a red card.
In the rules of the game, if you raise your arms, no matter where it goes, even if it's to shrug off a player and you make contact, I'm sorry, but you've made contact with his face.
Yeah, was it accidental or not?
But that's regardless. You don't raise your arms. If he's grabbing hold of you and you're grabbing it off and you've elbowed him, I'm sorry, that's a red card.
But he's trying to. It's because he's quite tall. Like he's just like obviously.
You sound like Jurgen Klopp. You sound like Jurgen Klopp making excuses.
I know. Obviously, for the short people listening, can't relate. But because he's grabbed. Yeah, I was gonna say Josh Bailey. It's just because he's grabbing onto his shirt, and he's just done that to get off him, and I think he's accidentally caught him. Like it's been rescinded, hasn't it? So
it got resigned today. Yeah, it did. Yeah.
I think.
So it's not
the thing. I think West Ham fans were annoyed about was the theatrics of Mike Dean. It was the 97th minute, and then he's done that red card, but he's gone over to the monitor and he spent a while at the monitor. And I think that's what a lot of people were annoyed about, was how it kind of became like the Mike Dean show. And he has admitted as well, he does make it very theatrical in his refereeing, and it does kind of become about.
I hate Mike Dean. I'm sorry, I just don't like him. He's great.
Wow,
He's stuffy.
you one of these?
Sorry, no, that was a bit out of context. I do like Mike Dean. I don't like the way he referees. The way
he's a good referee.
Yeah, but I think for me,
he ruins it with his theatrics and making
He comes across as a nice bloke. Like, have you seen Crouch's podcast with him on? You see that side of Mike Dean, it was just a normal bloke. But where he's on TV refereeing games, he almost seems to portray this character, and it's Mike Dean the referee, and he did it in with the Martial one as well. When Martial was sent off for the VAR, which never a penalty, never a sending off. But I suppose if you're going to go down, it was a penalty, then you've got to send him off. Like, I understand that one, but Martial was already on his way down, and if you believe what, I can't remember, Bednarek, wasn't it? It was Bednarek at 9-0, when he went down. And he even said, if you believe what he said, that Martial said it wasn't even a foul, and whether you believe that or not, who knows? But
said that. Which Mitrovic said that apparently. Sojcek said, I think he tweeted it. He said that Mitrovic said to him that it wasn't a foul. But what I find absolute unreal for Mitrovic is the way he reacted initially.
I've got to bleep up the swearing now. This is a non-swearing podcast.
Sorry, the housery. But like, what I love about it is the fact he's absolutely made a massive meal out of it, and then has gone to Sojcek. Yeah, it wasn't a foul though. Like, it's just a bit. If it wasn't a foul, don't react like that.
Yeah.
Thing is, it wasn't exactly in like an important stage in the game. Like, I get, to be fair, it was from a free kick and he could have potentially like headed and scored from it. But it was literally like the last kick of the game, last touch of the game. And he literally, I don't know, it was just, I don't know whether, do you think that he's told by the people at VAR at Stockley Park, like, you have to send him off? Because I think Mike Dean's been getting so much of the backlash from it, because evidently people are literally sending death threats to his family. But what about the people who are at Stockley Park? The people who are telling him to go to the board? You don't know what the conversation is between them. But do you think they are like putting pressure on him to?
Well, that's what we need to hear. We need to start hearing what's happening in that conversation, rather than just the commentators getting on the screen and going, "Oh, they're looking at a sending off." We need to be hearing what that conversation they're having.
Yeah.
Because that way, then it's clearer to us why they're making that decision and moving forward. I think that's the one problem with VAR. In that sense, it's the rules that are wrong. It's not VAR's issue, because, all right, maybe they've come to the wrong decision, but it's one of those ones where it's going to be controversial no matter. If you send him off, there's going to be people complaining. If you don't send him off, there's going to be people complaining because he's raised his arm, like me, playing devil's advocate. If he's raised his arm and he's elbowed someone, arguably by the rules of the law, that's a sending off, which is why Mike Dean showed him the red card. But I think overall, I think it's the laws of the game that need to change. There needs to be clear black and white between what is a sending off and what isn't a sending off, because that's when you lead to arguments.
This is the question: is it VAR, or is it the technology, or is it the officials? That's
I think it's neither.
I think it's the rules. Sometimes.
Yeah, the rules.
Because you're thinking, the offsides, when we've seen like countless what's handball, what's offside, all this. VAR just put the lines up and then they go off the rules effectively, don't they? They say, okay, offside is from your sleeve or wherever, but that's the ruling. Like, I guess VAR, like, I guess it's the process of going to VAR that rules these goals out. Fair enough.
Yeah, and that's why he gets the blame.
Yeah, but if the rules were literally like cut down from his armpit, come down from wherever, and if he's offside, then great. But if the rules are stating that, if his hand's on offside, then it's not a goal, then that's the rules, really. Like, that's not VAR.
The rules need a change and an update in some
Yeah,
circumstances.
definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the changing of a rule mid-season is ridiculous. That is, you should not be able to change a rule mid-season.
Because we've seen that with handball, haven't we?
Yeah, that is ridiculous.
Handball rule changed.
Yeah.
Stupid. It's so stupid.
Do you think the referees have an ego problem? Because there's talks about, isn't they? They have the talk on Twitter and that, where they kind of say that Premier League match officials, they don't like to admit when they're wrong. And people from Stockley Park and people on the pitch, they'll make a mistake, but they won't change that because they don't want to admit that they're wrong. So do you think they have an ego problem?
To be fair, if you're a referee, if you're Mike Dean, you're refereeing Fulham versus West Ham. It's 0-0. It's boring. You're bored. Just switch it up a bit. Add a bit of spice. If you're a referee, you're sitting there probably going, "Oh, all the attention's about that football over there. He's just done that. Make the attention on me." You know, you're the one who gets lost in the drama. So just, we'll just go to VAR there, please. And I can understand why they want to switch it up.
Soon, then, really.
Huh?
You're not going to be a ref anytime soon, John.
No, not me. Not me, unfortunately, no.
I know, Josh, you're a big fan of the offside rule where now it's either offside. It's clear. It's black and white, like I said before. It's either like offside.
I don't like the hand thing. I just you can't go with your hand or your shoulder, so I don't think that. But I at the end of the day, offside is sort of offside.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. As harsh as it is, I'm sorry, but you're offside. That's the way that it is.
If they were to change in the rule to say that maybe like a portion of your, maybe a good foot has to, I'm like centimeters of your body have to be over, so like a little toe.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it is. If there's if any of you is over, that's offside, and you're technically getting advantage to the rules.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the rules, really, isn't it? It's
the rules. Because if you start adding in stuff like, I know people have called for with offside, it's saying it's too tight that when a striker breaks through, and if they score with the bit of them that's onside, that's just going to take longer. That with VAR, if they have to then look at which part of the body was offside and then which part they score with, and just check that it didn't touch that in the build-up, then that's just going to take even longer. And I think the way that it is at the moment is Josh frozen.
He's frozen for me, but I couldn't. Yeah. He was frozen for me for about 5-10 minutes.
Same, and I couldn't tell if he was just staring and thinking about what I was saying or.
You were still speaking, but you were just like. I was like, I'm going to carry on, TV and live action. Go. No, you back now.
How long was I frozen before?
Oh, good, hour, but it's fine.
Pretty much all the recording, mate. You did the intro and you froze.
Seriously?
No, not that bit, not that bit.
That was a good 5-10 minutes, and I just looked back. It was actually frozen for 5-10 minutes. Sorry.
No, 5 seconds. Right. What was our next? What were we talking about?
We done? We finished that topic.
What was the podcast? Yeah, we finished. Yeah, thank you for watching.
Thank you very much for watching. What I was going to say was VAR was introduced. When VAR was brought in, everyone was like, you're going to lose the controversy in football. There's not going to be as much fun. Every decision's going to be right. Well, look at it now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what I mean.
There's controversy everywhere.
Has the technology as well exposed the inadequacy of the officials?
I don't know. I don't know about that because in the World Cup it worked quite well, and that's why I don't understand how well it worked.
English officials has it kind of exposed really
maybe
their inabilities to make decisions, make mistakes, because the Premier League always had controversy throughout time. Controversies.
Kind of, but I feel like VAR forces them to make a controversy. When they see it black and white in the clear with all these lines and all these referees in their ears going, I feel like it almost makes them make the wrong decisions in some cases with all the people in Stockley Park. I just want to see referees do a post-match interview after the game.
Yes, that's what I want to see.
I want to see it. I just want to see it.
They'll never do that though, will they?
Why?
They'll be jokes.
Why not?
I just can't see it.
Can you imagine Matt interviewing Mike Dean why did you make that decision? Because then you find out why they made the decision.
Yeah, you could get an inform. You could get put the incentive. They could get an inform on FIFA if they do well. You could get team of the season Mike Dean, and then he's there. For your and then actually. Exactly. There's going to be that's the incentive for referees.
Sorry, lads, just quickly. Can you see in the bottom corner of my screen, that window? Look at the snow coming down that. Absolutely. I'm in a blizzard.
Okay, mate. Thanks for that.
No worries.
The listeners are going to be absolutely riveted.
Yeah, for you on Spotify, I apologise.
I was going to say, for the ones listening not on all platforms, you can quite clearly see that there is Santa and there's reindeer.
Reindeer.
It's an elf.
Hang on.
That should be our motto, shouldn't it? The podcast.
Not on all platforms.
Yeah, that's good. Actually.
That's how we're going to start every episode now. Not available.
There's 3 podcasts. No, it's us 3FC in it. This one's us 3FC. Don't confuse people because this is.
Sorry.
No. Yeah.
It's 3FC and there's 3 podcasts.
Talking about not available on all platforms, Jurgen Klopp.
Oh, I don't see how he's not available.
How that links in, but...
you can't get him on Apple Music these days.
They've been poor, haven't they? They've been poor since the new year. They've been shocking, really, Liverpool.
Do you buy the excuses that he's coming out with?
No.
What did he say? What did he say in his interview? I didn't see.
Yesterday he said Alisson's feet. I don't know if Roy Keane was being serious there, but he said that Alisson's feet were cold. Yeah,
it is cold out there. To be fair, it's cold.
I mean, looking out there, it's a blizzard. It's a blizzard.
Bit of leeway. Yeah.
Thicker socks on, you'd think, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, but they were saying on commentary that he was like, ill in the days before, but that's no excuse to pass a ball to Sterling's feet.
If you're ill, it depends what kind of ill.
Well, yeah, but then you don't play.
The common cold, mate.
Yeah, but then you don't play. Simple as if you're ill still.
Yeah, that's true.
An ill Allison or an Adrian. No one wants that.
Or Kelleher. Is that the young guy?
Yeah, Kelleher. He's the Kellering guy who did decent.
But anyway, So Liverpool. It's going down the pan, really.
Massively.
What is wrong with them? Because it's either the injury. Is it the injuries?
No.
Well, this is the thing, because that's what their fans are, obviously, or not all their fans.
No, John, it is all their fans.
That didn't come from me.
I want it to come from me. I'm sending for Liverpool fans. You're all making excuses. You're all terrible.
Just to confirm, these are Kai Sherlock's own.
Confirm. You never walk alone, but Kai's going to walk alone now.
Well, I'll tell you who did walk alone. Karius after that Champions League final, didn't he, mate? That's what he walked alone off that field.
Right, Kai, you've got to be a lot more professional talking about Liverpool, okay? Agendas aside. Right, mate?
Bias, non-biased.
Non-biased.
They've lost 3 consecutive home games, and after not losing at home in like 4 years, it's not great, is it really, for them? And I mean, they use the excuse of not having a centre-back or injuries or whatever it is, but Van Dijk was in that team when they lost 7-2 to Aston Villa. He played. It was the game before the Everton one. So, using that as an excuse, like when they played Man City at the weekend, they had Kevin De Bruyne out. They had their best player out. So, you know what's...
Yeah, exactly.
What's the excuse?
Exactly. That's the thing, yeah.
I think that... I do think, especially for Liverpool as well, I think having Van Dijk out is a lot more... I think it's a lot more disastrous than having someone like Kevin De Bruyne out.
Is it because...
Yeah, because look at where Liverpool were before Van Dijk came in. They're a completely different side.
Yeah, fair point.
Like, they were top 4. They were just they were inconsistent. They were losing games, and Van Dijk's completely changed that back line.
Yeah, fair point.
He's the type of centre back which makes everyone else around him look better because he just makes everything so easy. Like, you can have an average centre back next to you. It's a bit like Ruben Dias.
Yeah.
Ruben Dias with John Stones. John Stones, put him next to. I know Otamendi's gone, but put him next to Otamendi, atrocious.
He's more class.
Yeah. Got Ruben Dias, and he makes him look incredible.
Well, because it takes a lot of the pressure off, doesn't it? When you've got a good centre back next to you, it gives you confidence. It's like with a goalkeeper. If you've got a goalkeeper behind you who's constantly making mistakes, it makes a back four like nervous to almost sit in front of them. And the fact that Liverpool came in and went, like you say, they brought in Van Dijk and it completely changed them. And they brought in Alisson and letting them two just change the side. Yeah. They literally went from there and then just rocketed and went automatically to title challenges. So, yeah, it's a fair point, actually, that they bring them in. But this season, though, they've been woeful, even with Van Dijk in the side. And I think... Go on.
Well, Van Dijk came in and actually they did... When he had gone, they were doing all right.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They weren't actually that bad.
They were doing okay, and it's generally just since Christmas. And who has been out since Christmas is Diego Jota as well.
Big loss for him.
He was a lot of their goals as well.
Especially because at the time, I know Salah's getting a bit back onto form now, but Mane and Firmino weren't firing. And I mean, Firmino never really fires, but I mean, Well, has he really?
No.
Ever reached high numbers?
Just stirring the pot.
Like, I'm not rivalries aside, as someone would say, but rivalries aside, for me, Firmino's on the level of Martial. He's just not.
I think the problem with Firmino is he's coming away from what he does best. He's listening to people who are saying he's not scoring goals and he's trying to score goals, but that's not Firmino at his best. Firmino at his best is.
But what's a striker supposed to do though?
But I think
it's a false nine, isn't he?
But I think he's more of a system striker, and that's why. And I, to all the people who watch Leeds, this is where people criticise Bamford. He's playing in a system. He's not there. Not all strikers in some systems are there to score goals.
Yeah.
Liverpool won the title last year, but Firmino didn't score as many as Salah or. It's to play in that system.
For Mane and Salah.
Exactly. The way they play is electrifying. And if he drops deep to open up the wings and the space for Mane and Salah, he's sacrificing his goal tally to win trophies, which is fair enough. But what I did find really weird and interesting against Man City was Man City don't have Aguero, who has been arguably one of their best players and a club legend. They didn't have, as you said, mentioned De Bruyne. They did it all without Laporte. They did it all without Walker. They did it
as well.
Yeah, they wouldn't have had Fernandinho playing, and it's ridiculous how yes, one player in Van Dijk means so much to Liverpool, and obviously we are going to talk about Spurs, but it's the same with Kane and Spurs. But
and it's like if Fernandes got injured at United would really struggle.
Exactly.
So for Liverpool this season, is it the injuries or is it Jurgen Klopp?
Both. I don't think you can really blame the injuries because you should have a squad. You need a squad to win a league title, and that's proven with Man City. Look at their squad with all their injuries they've got, and they're still managing to put talent in there. And they might have had money fired out on left, right, and centre, but I still think they've managed to build the squad up, and that's what a title-winning side does. And
I think this has exposed the lack of compared to other clubs, investment in Liverpool.
Yes.
In their team. I think Jurgen Klopp's done a fantastic job, and I think the money generated from Coutinho is used very well. But that was sort of the last sort of massive investment in Liverpool, and they were never really. Their squad depth is terrible. Even last year, like you spoke to Liverpool fans, like their squad depth wasn't great. And it was going to be, they've had an injury crisis. And the problem with Jurgen Klopp is he plays this very high-intensity football. And it happened at Dortmund. He run the players into the ground. And, he picked up injuries left, right and centre. And that was the problem. Without the squad depth and the players to step up, this was always going to happen when other players got injured. And I just think it shows a lack of investment in Liverpool and actually how well Jurgen Klopp has done to not have to beat Man City, compete with Man City compared to their level of investment.
Say a lack of investment. They spent 70 million on Van Dijk. Like that's an investment. I know it's the money from Coutinho, but it's still an investment into the side.
Yeah, it's not like Man City, is it?
But no one's like Man City. Man City are just.
But I think it's the lack of investment in January for me. Like they've signed 2 centre backs on deadline day, one from Preston. Who I don't know how. I've never watched Ben Davies. I don't know how good he is. He might be world class.
They reckon he's quite good, don't they? They reckon he's.
Yeah, I was going to say he could be fantastic, but I think I don't think it's the injuries. I don't think it's Van Dijk. No, I don't think it's Klopp. I think it's just a mentality thing at the moment. They're going through a bad run of form. Exactly, it's confidence. And I've got down here. I'm ripping off Kai's stats from the week before.
Please stop.
Since their 7-0 victory against Palace, like you got to remember, they beat Palace 7-0. They drew to City 1-0, all without Van Dijk. They beat Spurs 3-1 recently. But since the 11 games since the Crystal Palace 7-0 victory, they've won 3, drawn 3. 2 of them being against Newcastle and West Brom, and lost 5. 2 against Burnley. 2 against Burnley and Brighton. Obviously lost that unbeaten Anfield record, but the fact they've only won 3 in their last 11 games in all competitions. One of the wins was against a 12-year-old Aston Villa team. Like it's poor. It's just their mentality.
It's a worry, isn't it? It's a worry because if you'd have said before the season that Liverpool would end up nowhere near the title, because if they carry on the way they're going, they won't be anywhere near the title. And
I was going to say Chelsea are 1 point off them now.
I think City will run away. I think it's City's title now, isn't it? They're going to run away with it, and you'll start to see the gap getting bigger now. But
if Leeds beat Palace tonight, you don't know. You don't know. Sorry, carry on.
But yeah, so I just think that Liverpool now, if you'd have said before the season that they'd actually been a race for top 4, that is. You wouldn't expect that at all. Like, there's a possibility that they actually might not get top 4 if they don't carry on well this season. And the way they're going, they need to turn it around. They need to get confidence back in them, I think.
That's the thing. Yeah. Well, because we said last week, I posed the question, will Chelsea get top 4? I think me and Kai both said no. They are 1 point now off Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool, yeah.
And Liverpool now ask the question, do you think Liverpool will get top 4?
And I asked the question, Josh, do you think Spurs will get top 4? Moving on to the segment with Mourinho.
I mean, the top 4 in general is very. You don't know. I think even from 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. I know obviously the gap to Man United with being. You probably think they're guaranteed, and same with Leicester. But
I don't think we're guaranteed.
You're not. Yeah. Like, Everton can still get it. Chelsea, Spurs are still there. Aston Villa are still there. And West Ham are there. I
think it's starting to take shape a bit more now, the league, though, isn't it? You're starting to see your divides between your bottom 6 into your mid tables, and then now like the top 7 or so. They're starting to take shape a bit more, isn't it?
Sort of. It's still really close, though. It
is very close, but
I think ironically the least close bit is the bottom 3 because of how far off they are. Like I think you can pretty much put your house on Sheffield United, West Brom, and Fulham all going down. No,
I'm not putting my house on anything, mate. You can put your house.
I never said I would. I said you can pretty much can. Please, no one come to my house and take my stuff away. Please.
That'd be a great video idea.
Bailiffs around the house. Yes.
Most parents be like, John, what have you done?
Yeah.
Well, you know how Fulham stayed up? It's funny because
I bet my house on it.
Yeah.
Who do you think will get top 4 then? I'm going to pose that question to you because right now the league it's in a fluctuant state. Who would you back to get top 4, John? Put your house on. Who would you put your house on?
City. Blow my mom's name out. City.
For God's sake, Josh, again.
City. I mean, in no particular order, as they say on Strictly Come Dancing. I'll go. Man City. I need to have a look at the table. You know, Man United are back to get.
I know. I think.
If you know yours now, I don't want to be influenced because I don't want to be told I'm copying.
Based on current form, but I think you can only go based on current form.
Yeah.
I'm going Man City, Man United, Leicester, and Chelsea.
That's the 4 I was going.
You don't think Liverpool will get it?
No, not on current form.
I think either City, United. I think.
I don't think it'll be that order. I think it'll be something like City, Leicester, United, Liverpool. That's what I think it'll be. That's what I think my top 4 will be.
I think Leicester, Liverpool, Chelsea are all fighting for those 2.
Yeah.
Other champions, but Man United
will be second. United will be second.
Chuck Spurs in there. You can't rule Mourinho out. Chuck him in there.
You can't rule Chris Wilder out. It's a fantastic season.
To be honest, I think you carry on the way you are. Mourinho won't be in job by the end of the year.
Come on, maybe just beat West Brom.
They just won.
Yeah.
They're making my house a little bit safer, so I'm quite happy with that.
Let's talk about Spurs then.
Yeah.
Well, the question is Mourinho's time up? And Kai, you think it's going to be up?
I think as a manager, I think Mourinho said he was going to come in and he was going to, because he's always been known for playing his defensive football, and that is Mourinho's style of football. It is a very defensive, some call it counter-attack it, maybe not. But we all said, what?
I want to challenge that later.
Okay, that's fine, yeah. That's fine. But he's been renowned for playing, he knows how to win a football match, Mourinho. And when he came into Spurs, before he was coming in the punch, in the build-up, he says, yeah, I'm adapting my football. I'm learning from the way the football is. And we were all expecting him to come in and play a bit more attacking football. And he's got the facilities to do that at Spurs. He's got Son, he's got Kane, he's got Murray, he's got Bergwijn, he's got Ali, but obviously Ali's
Jack Clark.
He's not a big Jack Clark, yeah. But yeah, so he's got a lot of talent and attributes to be able to play that attacking football at Spurs. But I think for me, he's not doing it again. Jose Mourinho has gone back to his roots because he doesn't trust what he has. And I think when Mourinho doesn't trust what he has, that's a dangerous thing, and it never goes well, ever. I've said it to you, Josh, at the minute Mourinho was brought in as manager, I said, it's great when you're winning results, his style of football, when you get in games. Trust me, I know from experience, it's brilliant when you're winning, if you win trophies, if you're winning football matches. But when you don't win football matches with that style of football, it is the worst style of football to watch, and it always ends up sour. And Mourinho always ends up sour at his club, and it will end up sour at Spurs, and it's already going that way.
That might be a lie, because when was Mourinho brought in? Surely you couldn't have told him. Surely you didn't know each other back then when Mourinho was brought in.
That's true, actually, yeah. I've told my Spurs friends at home, but I mean, I've told Josh ever since I've known him.
Another stat proved wrong.
When was he brought in, actually? Because
last October, last November?
November 2019.
When have we known each other since? I can't remember.
April, May.
No. We've known each other long and we're talking in group chats and stuff, but
no. We met.
Anyway, we're not.
Sorry, I've just proved another stat. I just wanted to prove another stat wrong. I'm sorry. Carry on. Josh, Spurs relegation thoughts?
No. To be fair, I do agree with what Kai's saying. To an extent. It's always to an extent.
So it always is. It's always to an extent with me,
Bless him.
You too.
No, I do agree, because when you're right, when Mourinho trusts his player, when Mourinho doesn't trust what he has, it's a dangerous situation. And I think he trusts what he has, but I just don't think he trusts his back four. I think you looked at the start of this season and we were playing very good football. Take away the Everton game. We beat Southampton 5-2. We beat Man United 6-1. We all watched the Newcastle game. We should have won that game by 5-0 in the first half. West Ham, we were... West Ham... Please stop. West Ham, we were 3-0 up. And that is the game that has changed Spurs this season.
I agree, to be fair. And
that is the game that has flipped Spurs' season on its head. Because we were 3-0 up, and Mourinho, and to be fair to him, you're not going to trust a defence that capitulates a 3-0 lead in 10 minutes. On the 82nd minute, and it becomes 3-0. You're not going to trust that defence. And West Ham have ruined Spurs this season, because since that moment, Mourinho's gone into his shell.
Hang on, what you're saying is David Moyes. David Moyes has ruined your season.
They're higher than you now, to be fair, aren't they?
David Moyes has ruined Spurs' season this season.
David Moyes has ruined Spurs' season because he's gone back on what he knows, and he's defending his football because he knows that if he tries and plays expansive football, he's going to give up leads, and it's in Mourinho's nature of winning. And when you want to win, he just doesn't really take risks.
No.
He doesn't want to take risks. So by playing that expansive football, like Bielsa will take risks, right? And it doesn't matter if he wins or loses. But to Mourinho, he wants to win at all costs, and he will do that with that way. So we will not see Spurs playing expansive or an attacking style of football until he has that centre-back. And he needs that centre-back. We went for Ruben Dias. Ruben Dias wanted to join Spurs. I think it was reported by numerous sources that he was agreed and he wanted to join Spurs, but Levy didn't want to splash that money. And then we found a cheaper option.
Daniel.
We found Skriniar, right? But then they wouldn't budge on their money, on what they wanted. Levy wouldn't pay out. So we settled for Eric Dyer, and he was like, that will make do. I do think it's Jose Mourinho's fault to an extent, but I also think it's the Daniel Levy and IC's philosophy of don't put football first. Put a profit first.
Yeah.
And once again, we saw. If we got that centre back, if we got Diaz, if we got.
Oh yeah, especially how he's been at City.
If we got Diaz, we would be up there. We would be up there definitely because we would.
You said it earlier. You said it earlier when Liverpool brought in Van Dijk and brought in the centre back. It brings the confidence to the team when you've got someone at the back who can sit there and hold a defensive line. I know from personally playing when I'm playing goal, when I've got someone in front of me, I've got a load more confidence. If I've got a good centre back in front of me,
sign Kai.
Yeah, bring me in.
Yeah.
No, but when I've got a good centre back in,
if you're just not knowing Kai, you think he's a professional.
I am.
You think he's playing for Scunthorpe United?
I have, mate. I've played for Oldham. I've played for Charlton.
Played for Charlton?
Yeah, mate.
You live in York?
And Oldham, mate.
No,
I've not played for Oldham or Charlton. I've played for... Actually, I'm not going to say where I've played for because I have to blur out where I live again. Which would be brilliant. Pardon?
First time I met you, you told me the story about how you took your team from relegation fights to promotion battles.
You know that story. It wasn't the first time you met me, actually. It was second, but
This guy's a bit of a...
Oh, yeah. It was the second time, actually.
Wait, why are you going to uni? Why aren't you managing Barca or something?
Do you know, actually, I managed Barca five-a-side team when I was 16 years of age.
Sound like Jay off the In-Betweeners where he's like, I'll just take her to the Premier Champions League.
Yeah, so, yeah.
But no, and the same thing happened at Man United with Jose Mourinho. The deciding point is I think Mourinho will stay. I think Mourinho will... Because what's saving him is the cup competitions. And at the end of the day, Spurs need a trophy. That's what comes first, especially if we get Europa League. That's still challenging. That all that matters. The defining moment of Jose Mourinho will be if he gets that centre-back. He never got that centre-back at Man United.
I think the defining moment for your season will be if you win that League Cup. Because if you win that League Cup, it'll give you a whole lot of confidence towards the end of the season.
I mean, not this season, but I mean as in, for the rest of his tenure.
Yeah.
If he gets a centre-back, that one that makes everyone better around him, he will do very well next season. If he doesn't, he will be sacked by December. He will be gone.
What I don't get is I don't know. I couldn't tell whether you're. I don't know if you're actually being would you say your season? Did you? Well, you said your season fell apart at the West Ham game. I don't. The Chelsea game back in December was like a first v second clash. Liverpool, or was that November or December? But then, you beat City after the West Ham game. It was like we're going to win the league. You then played Liverpool at Anfield. Firmino scored. It was like that was almost the time. But you were still in and around with a chance. I just don't get where the drop off has come since when you beat City, drew to Chelsea, only just lost to Liverpool, but you were still you were still in with it. Yeah, exactly. You were still in with a shout, and this was all after the West Ham game. But I think the miss of Sergio Reguilon has gone criminally underrated.
Yeah,
because he was he's a fantastic player. He whips in balls for fun. He really does. His link up with Harry Kane was phenomenal. And I think the reliance on Harry Kane, I think, is too much as well. Yeah. Like against Brighton, the lack of creativity, and I thought sort of just relying on like the likes of Vinicius or like Gareth Bale isn't what he was before. And Harry Kane,
Cavani's the better signing.
He is genuinely. Cavani's a tank. Cavani's
still well on it, to be fair.
He's saying that though. He's only 7. He's only 3 goals behind. Like, come on.
Yeah, but
no, in all competitions, in the Premier League, like
my prediction for Gareth Bale is I think he's going to do atrocious, but I feel like he will step up in like a final. I feel like he will.
Yeah, he's a big game player.
Yeah, big game player, but not at the Amex, unfortunately.
Big game player. He scored against Marine, didn't he? So massive game that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
huge game.
He didn't score. When has he scored?
Did he not score against?
He scored again.
He scored against Stoke. He scored against Stoke, didn't he?
Stoke. Brighton.
Did he score against Brighton? Oh yeah, Brighton.
Mount Rushmore of English football, that, and it's Stoke, Brighton.
He's done the treble.
Like, he will come off the bench, League Cup final, and win it for us. You heard it here first, mate.
Oh,
true. To be fair, I can see him doing something in the final, but in the league at the moment, I just think I don't know where it's all gone. Like, where would you say it's all gone wrong? Because it's not the West Ham game.
Trust him. Mourinho doesn't trust him.
It's the West Ham game.
It can't have been.
It is the West Ham game. I'm not saying that the season went fell apart there, but that was when our season changed in the sense of our playing style. It probably would have happened later down the line. It probably would have happened where he lost Johnson in that defence and he realised that, a defence of Alderweireld and Dyer isn't good enough. Dyer can't put a defence around Dyer. But no, yeah, I think that was the game that changed our season. The fact that he was playing this defensive football, he was sitting back, and he wasn't going to do it. But John, do you think that Mourinho will be gone? Do you think his time's up?
I think it would be pointless to sack him, considering how much time there was evidently in the build-up to, Mourinho was brought in like the hour after Pochettino was sacked. There was evidently time building up to bringing in Mourinho, and sacking Poch had brought you fantastic. What was that?
I told you that.
No, you did. I don't. No, inside sources from Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. No, but like
Johnny's froze.
Have I froze?
Oh, bit of speed up there. Go on.
Here we go. I'm back. No, I don't. I think it'd be pointless sacking him purely because of how, like, you sacked Poch, who gave you a lot, gave you the Champions League final where Origi scored that goal to win 2-0. And like all the other memories, just building the club back up to where it was. I just think it would be pointless to now sack. I was going to say Matinho. I completely forgot what his name was. Mourinho. I completely. It'd be
podcast.
Yeah, I thought I think it'd be pointless to sack Mourinho now. I think he's got to get given a little bit more time,
haven't you? You've got to give.
I think you've got to give him time. But I think if you're a Tottenham fan looking at West Ham United playing this fantastic, because they're playing good football in their wins as well. If you're watching Arsenal taking a bit more of a step up, I can understand why you'd want to see better football. I can understand why you want to see win. Like, if you're going to win, like, if you're going to play badly, at least try win doing it. Yeah. As a Leeds fan, I'm quite happily enjoying watching us play decent football, but losing the odd...
6-2 to Man United.
I love that. I watch that game every night before I go to bed.
We lost 6-2, but I loved it.
That game was... I'd rather lose... No,
careful what you say there.
I was going to say 6-2 to Man United than 1-0 to Brighton, but... I just think if you're going to play badly, at least try and get 3 points by doing it. I can understand why you would want to see a different manager, because it is genuinely not entertaining at the moment.
It's not entertaining at the moment, but I think that if he gets us, I don't think a League Cup's enough, but I think if he wins us like the Europa League or the FA Cup or something like that, I think that he will. Spurs fans are going to be a lot nicer to him than Man United fans were, because
I was going to say
United fans weren't toxic to him. They still
toxic, but that wasn't enough for you, which is understandable because you're of a big aspiration. Spurs aren't on that level, they're not. They want to be there, but they're not at that level. They're not winning. They need trophies. So if Mourinho brings in 2 trophies this year, Spurs fans are going to be more than happy for him to have the summer. And the defining moment Mourinho is if he gets a centre back, a big, like a £60 million centre back. If he does,
I was going to say,
If he does, he will win the league next season if he does.
Oh, don't make claims like that. You made a claim like that this season. It's lost you a lot of money.
I am. I'm
logically
thinking about it. He'll probably need more than a centre. He'll probably need a creative midfielder.
I'm going to say, you can't just... What if they go out and buy like some championship centre-back and that's it?
I think you need another decent striker. But that's why I don't think he should be sacked because of how you're... not shanked, but sacked. This is why I don't think he should be sacked because of what you're saying with Mourinho. It's like if he brings in just one player, look at the things he's going to do. I think he should be given that opportunity.
Look at what happened to Klopp, though.
No, let's not. So let's
look at what happened. He brought in one player. He brought in Alisson as well. He brought in Van Dijk for 7 and it completely changed his time.
Yeah.
Player can have that effect. He had the exact same team, and that team was finishing fourth. He brought in Van Dijk, he brought in Alisson, and then they won the league and the Champions League.
Well,
what would you be happy with this? Sorry, I've ruined the segue.
No, go, John. I can do it.
What would you be happy? Would you be content with, or what would you be happy with? Like, not you winning. Would you be happy with not winning the Europa League, finishing in the Europa League spots, and winning the League Cup?
No. I'm happy with finishing 6th or like 5th, winning the League Cup and winning the Europa League. I'm happy with that, or just winning the Europa League.
If you win nothing, does Jose?
And we get a try. If Jose finishes 5th and wins nothing,
he
gets. If Jose finishes 5th, he gets sacked anyway.
Yeah, if he doesn't get Champions League and win,
Champions League is massive.
But you're still saying that if he has a summer where he can get a good centre back in, he can change things. So surely do you give him that time?
If he gets Champions League, Champions League,
fair enough.
It's massive. Having Champions League is massive for Spurs.
Yeah.
He sacked Pochettino because we were only in the Champions League. A man that got us to the Champions League final like 4 months earlier. He sacked Harry Redknapp, who actually finished in the top 4, but because Chelsea won the Champions League,
terrific.
We didn't get it. So he sacked him.
I love John's impression of Harry Redknapp. It's brilliant. It's so good.
He will sack. If he doesn't get Champions League football, he will be sacked.
Well, speaking of bringing new people in, we head over to Europe now. This is where the podcast fell apart last week, and let's see if it falls apart again because, well, quite frankly, it's just quite funny, isn't it? But what?
We like this segment.
We like this segment because we just relax a bit. No one's listening by this point. We know we're more than 40 minutes in.
Do you know this? How many
thought about 40?
Was it on the Us 3 one? I've just literally clocked this now when you say no one's listening to this bit. Was it on the Us 3 one? Go check it out. Links in the description. The bit where we were like, if you're still listening, like type in a word like no one commented.
No one commented. It was regret. It was rejection, wasn't it? Rejection.
It was something to do with that. Yeah, rejection. No one commented it. Yeah. Anyways, Europe.
That video get in the end.
What?
How many views did that video get?
100 something, I think.
Did it right? Yeah, did all right.
I'll check.
Anyway, so back to Europe, Josh.
Let's start off with Hazard. He was doing my research, just the thing across Europe, and he was voted Madrid's worst ever signing. Thoughts on that, ladies and gents? Because he was probably one of the best Premier League players of the last decade, 2010 to 2020, and he's gone to Real Madrid, and it's just gone to pieces. It has fell apart. He's having dashes of the
Us 3 FC podcast last week when we went to Europe.
Yeah.
As soon as Hazard went to Europe, it all went wrong, and as soon as
never go to Europe. Never go to Europe. Just
never
stay.
Go to Europe.
Stay. It's fine.
It's all we need.
I think they probably would have voted Bale if he hadn't have had the first couple of decent seasons that he had. I don't know. They
still did all right. Bale's outscored some of their legends.
No, but they just don't like him, do they? That's what I mean. No. But in terms of Hazard,
I wouldn't say it was their worst signing. Surely there's been worse signings than Hazard.
They signed that, didn't they? Sign that Jovic guy, or who didn't score, or someone like that.
I think you've got to look at. His how much they paid for him. How much did they pay for him? It was like 100 million, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it would have been a ridiculous amount. But I think they were it was justified the amount they bought him for because he was one of the best players, if not the best player in the Premier League at the time. He's been one of Chelsea's players alongside the likes of Lampard, one of their best players in the last decade. He's a fantastic footballer, and if his decline at Real Madrid means we get to watch him in the Premier League again, That'd be great. To be
fair,
fair,
where would he go?
I don't think he would. I mean, Leeds with Jack Harrison's quite good actually, so I don't know. But I just think I don't know enough about what he's done at Real Madrid to say if it's warranted.
For me, to vote your own player as the player who's playing for you at current period of time as your worst signing of all time, that's got to be a nomination for the award we'd normally give out on the other podcast. I mean, I can't say it.
They always do it though. They're very demanding as a fan base.
Yeah, they are. They ended up going Ronaldo, didn't they?
Yeah, like if you do not perform even on one game, they do.
Exactly. Yeah,
you need to be forming him week in, week out. And to be greatly honest, Hazard hasn't, has he? He keeps getting injured.
No.
He was overweight at one point. It's just he was meant to be their player that replaced Ronaldo. He was meant to be their superstar.
Yeah, it's true.
Glatsko, wasn't he? Yeah.
He's living up a big reputation there of Ronaldo, though. Like
he put a lot of weight on, didn't he, when he went? Do you remember the photos that went around of him putting a lot of weight on? But
can we maybe I mean, obviously they play a lot of possession-based football in Real Madrid, in Spain in general. Could that not suit Hazard? Because Hazard obviously likes to run, likes to make those runs from deep. Just likes to get the ball and run with it, and he needs a lot of space. Sort of, is that maybe something that why he hasn't done successful? Because it's more condensed in Spain and in Europe.
Maybe it's the pace, isn't it? The pace of the leagues between the Premier League and the La Liga. It's a vast difference. But there's been players who have come from Premier League. We talk about Ronaldo again, and he's come from Man United from the pace of the Premier League and taken it over to Real Madrid. So
you've got to adjust.
You wonder if pardon?
You've got to adjust your game.
Yeah, you've got to evolve, and it's the. You've got to change your style of play and be able to adapt, and that's what the best players do. And unfortunately, Hazard maybe it's a lack of motivation. Maybe it's I've reached the top of the mountain. There's nowhere to go from here because Real Madrid is like the pinnacle of your career, isn't it? Once you get there, that's the highest point, really. But I don't know about Hazard. He joined Real Madrid in a weird time because he joined Real Madrid in a time where they were on the decline. They'd lost Ronaldo, from winning Champions Leagues. There's not really anywhere they could go but down. And now, this season they're struggling. I think they're currently sat, is it fourth in the league, third in the league behind?
Because Atletico are top, aren't they?
Yeah, by quite some. With 7 points of 3 games around, aren't they? For something like that. Yeah. Ridiculous. Yeah. But Barcelona won in the last minute last night. Me and John know about that. They won in the last minute last night. And they went second, I think. And then I think it's between Real Madrid and Sevilla, third and fourth. I can't remember. But yeah, he's joined them in a weird time, and they were looking for someone to save them and bring them back up to the heights. And unfortunately, Hazard hasn't done it for Real Madrid.
Any final thoughts on Hazard?
None that anyone who wants a good insight into football should listen to. But just looking at Wikipedia, 24 appearances since the start of the 2019 season, which is awful, to be honest. Awful considering in 7 years at Chelsea he made 245 appearances. Just shows how out of favour he was there. Like you say, he was deemed a bit overweight and his fitness wasn't great. I don't know if he has injuries. I don't know really much about Hazard at Real Madrid, but if he wants to come back to the Premier League to make it more entertaining, that'd be great. I think there's obviously that opportunity to make yourself a big name in the Premier League in La Liga from the Premier League, like Luka Modric and Bale, both two players who have moved from Tottenham and have really made themselves. Like Modric won the Ballon d'Or, didn't he, while at Real Madrid? And that's definitely something that you can do as a player, but obviously it just hasn't worked out for him. And I think a potential move anywhere, to be honest, would be probably the best for him. I know we've seen Bale not get on with Zidane too well. I don't know whether there's something behind the scenes going on, but 24...
Zidane's a great manager.
Yeah, I don't know, but 24 games in the space of a year and a bit isn't exactly fantastic.
Players, taking the next step. Haaland and Sancho, there's been a lot of rumours, especially because of Dortmund's poor form recently, that they're going to be moving away, and they're heavily linked to the Premier League, respectively. Haaland with Manchester City and Sancho to Man United. But if you are Sancho's agent, if you are the club's agent, what club would you go to if you were Haaland or Sancho? Which club best suits you?
I think for me, both Haaland and Sancho should come to Man United. That's where I would personally
tell them why, Kai. Be the agent. Why should Haaland?
You're the agent. I'm Josh. Do you want to be Haaland or Sancho?
I'll be Haaland and I'll be both.
Well, no, that's a bit greedy, mate.
I'll be John. Right, carry on.
Sorry, John, you can be Sancho. I'll be Haaland. You be the agent, right? Try and convince us, Kai.
to be honest, I just want Man United to win again. So having Haaland and Sancho in the team would be quite helpful.
Right, we're off.
I'd rather sign for Brighton.
Might rather go right.
Can you imagine if Haaland signed for Brighton?
Why should but
him and Neil Maupay up front would be he should come to Leeds. To be fair, he's got a Leeds connection with him.
That's what I mean. I think if Leeds were a Champions League side, I think he probably would be.
Should Sancho move to Man United?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
I think that deal was done last summer. They were just haggling over a few quid, but now they're willing to drop the price, aren't they? So
I think,
yeah. I don't think we need him desperately. I think your priorities are a centre back and a right back. I was talking about this with my dad yesterday. Because at the moment Wan-Bissaka,
Aaron,
he's great. But look what happened when you brought Shaw in. When you brought Tellers in for Shaw. It's brutal performances. And for me, Wan-Bissaka's just. I know he scored against Southampton, but he's not great going forward. And for me, you need someone there who's going to just give him maybe just a bit of a kick up the arse. But I think the centre back, and it seems to be every window of Man United. It's the same positions that need improving. It's a centre back, a right back, a holding midfielder, and a right winger. It's always the same four positions that we come back to in the window.
Arguably, holding midfielder is more crucial than a right back, right?
I think with Scott McTominay, Fred, Pogba.
I think it was this time last year, or maybe in January, But now you've got the Scott McTominay coming. I suppose we've just come out of January, like 6-7 days ago.
8 days ago.
8 days ago, yeah. So but they've got McTominay, they've got Fred, they've got players like that who can play in that role. They've got Van der Beek, who even knows what role he plays in anymore. I haven't seen him really play all that often. Now Pogba's injured, I want to see Van der Beek play. But
Johnny, is Man United the right move for Sancho?
I don't. I think after this season, I think he'll see a different side to Man United that I think a lot of people would have thought in the summer. I think in the summer, my criticism of him potentially going to Man United would have been, look at the amount of players who've gone there. Alexis Sanchez went there, ruined his career in the Premier League effectively. You don't really want to see that happening to Sancho, who admittedly hasn't had as better season in the Premier League, in the Bundesliga, as he was last season. I think now with the way Man United are going at the moment, I think Manchester United would be a smart move. But what I'm really interested in is if he goes to Man United, what happens to the likes of Greenwood? Or I think Dan James gets way out of the picture, gets shipped out on loan, or they sell him because he's not getting a look in at the moment. But Greenwood's being used as that right midfielder, which isn't his natural position. Sancho comes in, takes that position. What happens to Mason Greenwood at that point? I know that's not really what we're talking about. I think that's an interesting thing.
I think the plan for Man United going forward has always been to get that right winger in, where they wanted Sancho in last summer, and eventually transition, because Greenwood's natural position isn't a right winger, it's a striker. Throughout the youth team, he's always played through the middle as a number 9. So and his finishing is unbelievable. Like, you playing through the middle, you're going to get goals, and he's going to take your chances. I think that the plan for Man United was always to be bring Sancho in, I'll bring a right winger in, transition Martial and Greenwood through, and eventually drop Martial out, because at the moment he's not been favouring Martial. He hasn't been playing all that often. I wouldn't be surprised to see him leave in the next few windows, to be honest. But yeah, I think Sancho's the right destination for Man United, and I think Man United, it suits all parties, doesn't it? United need a right winger. Sancho wants to come to the Premier League. It suits both parties.
There's a couple other destinations as well, because we're kind of short on time. We'll quickly run through it. We'll give it a yes or no and just tell me why. All right?
Okay, all right.
Chelsea, yes or no?
For Sancho or Haaland?
For Sancho, we'll stick with Sancho.
No. Too many attacking players.
No, I think they've got Callum Hudson-Odoi coming through a lot more as well. Pulisic or them. No.
Yeah, a waste of money, really. And not.
I wouldn't say a waste of money, but it's a waste of talent.
I don't think he'll play as much as he could at other clubs.
Liverpool, yes or no?
Yeah,
if they sell Salah or Mane, potentially.
And I think Salah will go in the summer. I think it'll be his final chance for. I think it'll be final chance for Trader.
There are also rumours they're looking at Rafinha. You can't have him. Next.
Barcelona, yes or no?
The way the Barcelona are for him, it might not be a good move, but it'd be a good move for Barcelona to bring him in.
Good move for Barca, bad move for Sancho.
Yeah.
What about Haaland? What about Haaland?
One more club.
One more club. Sorry.
This is a club. Bayern Munich.
No.
John?
Not at the moment. No, with Gnabry, Sane, Koeman. No.
I think that could be but they're lacking on the left side.
I think he makes his.
Come on.
I think if he wins the league with Man United, that's such a good bit for his career.
Yeah.
I think he can make his career so much better in the Premier League. I think
with Barca and Bayern, they haven't got the money. They can't compete with the likes of Chelsea.
They probably do.
No, there's not the money. They haven't got the money that United.
League.
They haven't got the money that United, Chelsea, and Liverpool have got, though, have they? Put it in that perspective. United, they're three of the richest clubs in the world.
Yeah, but no, they do splash out on some.
They cherry pick from their own league. That's what they do to make themselves the best in that league. That's how they do it. That's how their transfers work. And then Bayern historically have always gone to the teams in their league and picked off the best players, because then they've got the strongest team in the league. Lewandowski from Dortmund, Hummels from Dortmund. You know, they've done it countless times. Goetze from Dortmund. They've basically cherry picked from Dortmund's side. I know they might have been their feeder club at one point, but they've just cherry picked from sides that have been weaker than them stereotypically. But yeah, like you said, that might be a reason why Sancho goes. I don't know, but
yeah. Well, let's go on to Haaland now.
Yeah,
I think the number one destination, the one that he's very strongly linked to, seems to be Manchester City.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's the perfect club for him.
Do you think that's the right? Do you think that's the right club for him?
I think that if he goes to the Premier League, I think that's got to be the club. I think an argument for him is potentially stay at Dortmund. Like, he's young, he's still making himself at Dortmund. If he continues, he may be able to go for a bit more. But I think if he's going to move to the Premier League, I think Man City is the ideal place. Aguero, we don't know how long he's going to be lasting for, like injuries and stuff we're seeing this season. I think if you look at who else they've got up front, Gabriel Jesus isn't being used, and I think pretty sure he's fit. He was on the bench yesterday. He doesn't come on. They're literally playing without a number 9.
He doesn't trust him.
Exactly. They're literally playing without a number 9, and Gabriel Jesus is on the bench. I think it'd be the perfect. I think you look at the link up he could have.
City as well.
Yeah, exactly. If not City, Leeds.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think the only clubs I could see him going to, he's got the ties with City, hasn't he? Where his dad used to play. He's got the ties with Leeds, but
if we do something in the next couple of years and get some money,
realistically, John, he's not going to go to Leeds.
The opportunity count for Haaland. But you had to sell Bamford.
No, see, I was about to say he's on the bench if he comes now. He's on the bench if he comes now.
John, seriously?
No, I'd Bamford. I'd Bamford over Haaland.
Seriously?
That man is a fantastic human being. He's donating iPads to schools. He's banging in goals against Van Dijk. He's
Eric Haaland. This is like a generational talent. John.
I think Van Dijk got injured, so we didn't have to play Bamford again. I think.
Oh my God! Right, okay.
Are you getting relegated this season, John?
No, if we win tonight, we're 17 points.
Yeah, but you just said Van Dijk got injured, so he didn't have to play Bamford again. So either Bamford.
Oh no, this season.
Right,
let's quickly finish off the quick yes or no game like we did with Sancho.
Okay.
There's a couple of Chelsea is one. Yes or no?
No.
They haven't. No. Giroud and Tammy Abraham.
Yeah, and then they've got other things as well.
I think it's the same argument with Sancho.
Yeah. It's a similar argument, isn't it?
I think they're stacked.
It's less though because they haven't got that striker. They've got Giroud and Tammy Abraham, but they got Haaland. Blown out the water. Real Madrid.
Yes, definitely. That's the only other team I can see him going to. Man City.
Yeah.
He can build a team back again. If they have a mint summer again. I remember that I saw an Instagram post the other day that showed showed Real Madrid summer when they signed Ronaldo, and the players they brought in that one transfer window was insane. And maybe they're set for another transfer window like that with a lot of teams losing money because of the pandemic, and they're not performing as well as they probably should be. Perhaps they may be thinking about something like that. So they bring in Haaland, hasn't he got a buyout clause this summer as well? Yeah. Is that coming next year? Not sure, but apparently a rumour of it does or not. Well, if it does, they can bring him in. They can have a look at Mbappe if they were, because that's where he's going to end up. Isn't he? Mbappe is going to end up at Real Madrid one day. It's just going to happen. If they can get that front three, would be incredible. If they could get it,
Vinicius and Rodrigo in there as well.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what I mean.
But no, I think the one thing you got to look at though is I think teams are going to struggle to to buy players. With the pandemic, I think Sancho and Haaland probably do need to leave because Dortmund are looking in a bit of a mess right now. Probably depends who comes in, but teams are going to struggle. Like you're looking at 80, 100 million, probably more for Haaland. Same with Sancho. You're looking at 100 million again there. So teams are going to struggle to bring it in. So I know we're saying what clubs best suit them, but I wouldn't surprise me.
It's which club can afford them, isn't it? That's literally what we're getting to.
Yeah.
And you'd say Man City could probably afford them. I know Spanish teams, I know teams in Europe have struggled. They struggled last summer, especially with a lot of because especially TV rights. The Liga team struggled a lot because they don't have the same TV rights that the Premier League have. Yeah. I think the Premier League is masters of marketing, really.
Yeah, they are,
yeah.
Is the La Liga
it's the biggest league in the world, isn't it? It's the biggest league in the world.
Quality and play. Is the La Liga and Bundesliga better than the Premier League? Who knows? But I mean, we don't really know. It's up to the debate.
Well, I suppose unless you combine the league.
I think up the top. I think up the top of the. Oh, sorry, no, you go.
No, go on, John.
No, it's just initial to that question. I know it's not a different section, but I think the top of the Premier League and compared to the other leagues like La Liga and Bundesliga, I think the Bundesliga and La Liga maybe top it. If you look mid-table and below, I think the Premier League's stronger.
Oh yeah, the more competitive, and that also comes from money as well. Like a lot of the lower teams in the Premier League are like richer than the clubs in those leagues.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be interesting to see how that folds out, but I think we're done, lads. I think that's podcast number 2.
Done.
Yes.
Well, I think to be honest, I've enjoyed that. It's been a good podcast.
Yeah.
It's definitely my top 2 us 3 FC podcast, without doubt. Definitely in my top 2.
Yeah.
In the top 50%.
It's in my top 2, without doubt.
Number 1? Or is that a stretch?
We didn't put all Europe this time, to be fair.
We didn't. No, and to be fair, it's been a very sensible podcast. I've come up with some controversial shouts, which I'm probably going to get rinsed for, but
that will be going on the TikTok. Shameless plug.
Bamford over Haaland. Yeah, me too.
It's true. Yeah. So if you haven't already, we do a mainstream podcast, and to be honest, if you've got to this point in the podcast and you don't like football, why are you here? But there is a mainstream podcast for you. If you go to the link in the description, it'll be there. If you're going to go on the TikTok, it'll be in the comments, something like that. It'll be in the bio. But yeah, we're going to upload this on the Monday and hopefully get the mainstream one up for the Saturday morning again. That's what we're going to aim for, I think, every week, aren't we? The Saturday on the mainstream one and then the Tuesday on the football one. Yes. But yeah, if you have enjoyed, please please subscribe. It would mean a lot. But yeah, I think that's it. Have you got anything else to say, lads?
No, well, just thank you to you two. Thank you to all of us.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, guys. And hopefully Leeds win tonight as well.
Okay.
Well, see you later, guys. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you for watching. Good.